Hello, good people. I'm sure you are doing great, as I'm also doing great today. I welcome you to my pt1. I am your counselor, JK. Once again, welcome to my pt1. Today we are looking at conflict resolution in marriages. This is a topic that probably the unmarried wouldn't like to hear, or those who are not married would not like to hear, because the word conflict, no one will like to be in conflict. No one will wish to be in conflict. But whatever it is, and whether we like it or not, one way or the other, there is or there are conflicts in marriages. And we are looking at the way or how the conflict will not generate to something else. That's why we must be alert. We must know what actually brings about the conflict and how we can resolve it. So, conflict resolution in marriages. I am your counselor, JK. I welcome you to my pt1. What is conflict? One may ask. I'm sure we may know what conflict is, but for the purposes of our discussions today, let's agree that conflict is a serious disagreement. Serious disagreement. And then we can also say that conflict can be incompatible. When two people are incompatible, we can say that they are in conflict. And when there is serious disagreement between two people or two parties, we say there is a conflict. And again, when there is a clash, we say there is a conflict. So, your spouse wants light soup. You want palm nut soup. At that moment, there has been a conflict, because you are not on the same line, you are not on the same platform. Whilst one is thinking of light soup, the other is also thinking of palm nut soup. And you see, this is a conflict situation. So you know, conflict can be anywhere. You are going to a place with your spouse and you want to use the left side of the road, and then your partner will also, let's use the right side of the road. Though the same or the road will lead you to the same location, but because the other says let's use here, the other also wish to use the other side, there has been conflict. And if you don't take care, this let's pass right or left, this light soup or palm nut soup can bring about something which will be very difficult to handle. That's why we are looking at how to manage or resolve conflict in marriages. Now, what at all can bring conflict? What can bring conflict? Why do we have conflict? Why at all do we have conflict? You have met a lady, you've met a gentleman, you profess your love to him or her, and you want to be together. So one may ask, why should there be conflict? Or what brings about conflict? How? Why should there be conflict? Yes, there should be conflict. Or there can be conflict because he is a male and she is a female. Because we are a man and we are a woman. Because one party is a man, the other party is a woman. Because of our gender, there will by all means be conflict. The fact that you are a man and she's a female can bring conflict. So we should know that. But this type of conflict has not actually degenerated into the other stage that we'll look at it later. And then, because we are from different backgrounds, because of our backgrounds, there will certainly be conflict. Somebody was trained in probably a strict home, restricted parent or home, where the parents always restrict their movement, restrict their children. Whatever you say is being restricted. As against somebody who probably was brought up in a free, to do whatever you want environment. You see, because of this, because of our background, when we come together as spouses, there will certainly be conflicts. Even our form of education, one of them probably attended the so-called Adabi schools. One of them, of the partners, probably attended the normal Ejaba school. So you see, when they come out from school or college or the university, the way they see things may vary. So conflict may come because we are from two different backgrounds. I said in one of my presentations that in some homes, when the mommy finished cooking, you go to the kitchen to dish out your food yourself. In some homes, the mother shares, get everybody's plate or bowl, and the mother shares. So if people from this diverse background meet as a couple, obviously there may be conflict. And then there may be conflict because of our temperament. We talked about temperament about 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. Because of our temperament. Somebody may be the easygoing type. Somebody may be the conservative type. Somebody may, because of our temperament, yes, the phlegmatic, and the others that we learned or we talk about the other time. So all these personality traits, or our temperament will kind of bring conflict between a man and a wife, or between couples or spouses. And then character flaws. Some people see themselves as for me, I am low. Or somebody sees a partner as you are nowhere to go, and that thing. Whenever a partner looks down upon the other, conflict comes. So why do we have conflict? Because of all these things, conflict may arise. The Christians or the believers, people who are so religious, also think that sin and disobedience to God can bring some sort of conflict in your marriage. And then some Christians also believe, or some believers, some religious people also believe that because God loves you, the enemy will try to bring conflict in your marriage so that you think God has disowned you. So the believers or the religious people or the Christians think these ways. Why conflict? Now, having talk about why we have conflict. Now, let's look at the stages of conflict. You see, there are 3 stages of conflict. There are 3 stages of conflict. The first one, or the stage 1, is the emergence state. The first one, or stage 1, is the emergence state. That's the beginning of misunderstanding. That's where there will be anger, there will be frustration, there will be suspicion, where one person will be suspicious of the other. Insecurity, the woman sees that the husband is cheating on her. The husband feels that the wife is going elsewhere. The wife thinks, if I don't take care, my husband will marry a second one, or my husband will divorce me. All this insecurity is the stage 1. And that's where the misunderstanding starts. That's where the anger and the frustration starts. And as couples, it is our hope that as soon as we see these red flags, we resolve it there and then. We nip it in the bud straight away, so that it will not escalate to where will bring shame and disgrace to us. And then we solve it there. Then again, the stage 2, or the second stage of conflict, is the escalation stage. The escalation stage, that is where there's crisis. That's where there has been fight. That's where there've been confusion, if I can put that word. That is where there has been separation. That's where it's been divorce. That's where the couples probably fought. One of them might have been hurt. One might have said some words to hurt emotionally. One might have hurt physically. This is escalating or escalation stage of conflict. And then the third stage is the cessation stage. Cessation, that's where you cease fire. That's where a mediator or arbitrator has come in to resolve the conflict or speak with the 2 parties for them to understand why they should let peace prevail. That's where they are going to sit down and count their loss. This where they will sit down to see all the things that they've lost because of the conflict, because of the second stage that they allow themselves to go through. So as I said, don't let conflict get to the second stage, because sometimes at the second stage you may lose a life. At the second stage you may lose property. There is an issue where a couple were fighting. The woman thinks the husband is cheating on her, and then the man came home. There was this misunderstanding, there was this fight and whatever, not knowing the child, a baby so to speak, was standing elsewhere in the hall. So as the woman threw a coffee table, straight away it hit their I think 4 or 5 year child, and the child eventually lost their life at the hospital. So we are all hoping that we will not even get to the second stage. As soon as the woman, you suspect your husband, or you feel, let's sit down and talk. Let's resolve it there and let there be peace. And you see, we'll come to the other part. In conflict resolution, it is a win-win state. Don't go to arbitration and think you will win. Don't go for arbitration and think you must win. No. It should be win-win situation. And it may happen that you will lose. But because you want peace to prevail, you talk to yourself that whichever state, whichever the outcome, whichever the results, you will accept it because you just want peace to prevail. So I said we have 3 stages of conflict. We have the stage 1, which is a emergence stage, stage 2, which is the escalation stage, and stage 3, which is a cessation state. And now, as I said, it is better to kill conflict at the emergent state before it goes to the second and the third phase, so that no life will be lost, so that no property will be lost. There are so many instances, I don't want to bore you with them, but we are saying that don't let it get to the escalation stage where you may destroy items, where one person may be hurt physically, injured, or emotionally hurt. So we should take note. And then the conflict, as I said, there are 3 ways through which conflict can. Or there are 3 sources, or there are 3 links. There are 3 routes through which conflict may come. Now, for this discussion, we've put in it as this way. The conflict or the challenge which is caused by the couples themselves, which is caused by the partners themselves, which is caused by the spouses themselves, and the challenges which may be caused by a third party. I'll go to all these stages. And then the third one are the challenges which may be caused by circumstances beyond your control or beyond the control of the couples. So 3 ways that conflict can. There are 3 ways through which we have conflicts in our marriages, in our relationship. And I'm saying that the first one is the one which is caused by the parties themselves, which is caused by the spouses themselves, which is caused by the couples themselves. And then the second one is caused by a third party, which mostly we don't have control, but we can manage it. And then the third one is the one which is caused by some circumstances beyond our control. That one, we don't have any control over it. The only thing is we must be prepared to stay with it or handle it. We'll pick them one after the other and see examples of these challenges. Now let's look at these challenges which caused by the couples themselves. Things that bring conflict. What bring conflict? Which is caused by the partners themselves, which is caused by the couples themselves, or one of the couples, or both of them sometimes. If the husband is uncertain, if the husband is unloving, so unloving husband, uncertain husband, husband who do not show love, who is not certain today that, today, tomorrow this, it makes the wife doubt him. It makes the wife think otherwise. And as I said, when it happens so, conflict sets in. As it happens so, conflict sets in. And then Bible tells us from the Christian's good book that a husband must love his wife. Love your wife. So the Christians, they know. I'm sure the same way it's in the Quran. And And I'm sure the other religions also say that husband must love their wives. But if it happens the other round, there can be conflict. And then two, or another one, is unsubmissive wife. Unsubmissive wife. Wife who do not submit to the authority of the husband. I know this may not go down well with some people, especially with this era of equality. This era of equality, it's sometimes difficult for people to understand why woman should submit to the husband. But you see, it's hand go, hand come affair. If a woman submits, the husband will really love her. But if you see an unsubmitting wife, a wife who is arrogant, a wife who does not take the instruction, not instruction per se, but who do not listen to the husband, who do not care about whatever the husband says. You see, if it happens so, the man will also not care about you. The man will not show love. If you don't take care, you rather push the man out, go and look for solace elsewhere. Go and look for somebody, a comforter, so to speak, in quote. Go and look for comforter somewhere to comfort him. Somebody who will understand him. You see, sometimes it's excuse me to say, we tend to push or drive our husbands away. If you see husband cheating, generally there are some people, if their wives had taken care of them, if their wives had been submissive, if their husband had their wives had provided whatever they need, physically, sexually, whatever, emotionally, probably they wouldn't go out to look for the same thing that the wife has. So let me quote the Bible again. The Bible urges wives to be submissive to their husbands, and the husbands should love their wives. You see, more or less, it's the same. If you love somebody, you submit to him. If you love somebody, or if you submit to somebody that you love, and you love somebody because you can submit yourself to him. So I'm saying things that bring conflict in marriages can be unsubmissive or unsubmissiveness at home. And then there's another, unmet expectations. The wife may be expecting that the husband takes so much as salary, and that an X amount supposed to come home. An X of this should be at home. And the husband always complain. The wife may have doubt. So the expectation will not be met. The man may be expecting that the wife will be at home. In this part of our world, Ghana here, or as Africans, we know it is the core duty. I'm saying core duty of the woman to do the household chores, to cook. And if the man is expecting at least the wife to cook, and it doesn't happen that way, the man comes and cook himself, his expectations will not be met, and there will be conflict. In this way, I am not saying that the wives alone should cook. A man can cook. I myself, I can cook. If my wife is busy doing something else, washing, and we need to fix some food, I do it. So it doesn't mean it's a core duty of the wife, so the man cannot help. Yes, the man can help, but we are saying that it is the core duty of the woman. It is the core duty of the man to provide shelter to provide food, to provide all these basic amenities for the home, for the wife and the children. But these days, we know women are doing well. Some women are even earning higher than their husbands, and they are providing all these things. It doesn't mean they are wrong, but we are saying that it is the core mandate of the man to provide it. So if a woman is doing it, thank God. Hallelujah. You are a good woman. Keep on supporting your husband. If your husband and you also help your wife in some of the household chores, that's also good. We are looking at things that will bring conflict in our marriage. And then boredom also brings conflict. There are some relationships, it is just boring. Some relationships, some marriages are just boring. Same thing, same time, same day, same everything. You make the marriage or the relationship bore. So try to break the monotony. Try to break the boredom. Plan outing. There are some marriages, the man had never taken the wife out. Once in a while, take your wife out, go to a bar, go to a restaurant, just buy a bottle of drink, and that will be all. Just go on a stroll. Just have a walk together. You hold hand in hand. You walk together. All these things bring light into the marriage. And then some of them also, the same style in bed, the missionary style. Change it. Don't let your marriage life be a routine. Don't let it be a stagnant something. Don't let it be boring. Change your style. Change the moves. The missionary style it's too much. Don't let the marriage be boring. So boredom also brings conflict in the marriage. And then financial mismanagement. Sometimes one of the couples may like impulsive buying. See this, he buys or she buys. Unplanned budget, unplanned expenditure. This also brings about conflict in marriage. Offensive and careless or unkind words. A partner may use a word on the other. A wife may use word on the husband. The husband may use some unprintable word on the partner. It brings about conflict. This is no good. Then rough or cold, or let me say cold war or war at home. Sometimes a man may offend the wife. The wife will not say anything, but she will just be cold towards you. You ask her a question, she answers with her head. You ask her this, she nods. Or it can be the other way, because the wife had done something which he doesn't like. Whatever the wife says, he will not even mind her. There will be cold war. There will be rape at home. This thing brings conflict in marriage. Then personal hygiene. There may be women who will not even take good care of herself during that period of the month. There are some men, they come home sweating and they want to have an intimacy with a wife. There will be conflict. There are some people, they are unkept and they don't care. Personal hygiene also brings about conflict in marriage. Not helping at home. Sometimes there are some things that the wife will be expecting that the husband may help. Especially when you have babies at home, you have children at home. Once your wife is cooking or washing, if the baby is crying, you can take care of the baby. Yes, you help. If the man is the breadwinner, as I said, the core responsibility lies on him. He's providing for the home. And the wife also happens to be working and is earning better. Why not support your husband? And sometimes the wife may think it's the responsibility of my husband to do it. So the wife just keeps the money alone. And you see that, or you find out that the wife may be doing a project elsewhere that the man is not aware. If one party refuses to help the other, conflict sets in. And then taking your partner for granted also brings conflict. Lack of communication, inadequate communication. If you don't communicate well, that we will have. There's a whole topic on communication. We come to that. So inadequate communication also will bring conflict. Unsociable partner. Sometimes you have a wife who is so antisocial. When the man's friends come around, when they go out and they see friends, instead of you socializing a little, having a handshake or something, you see the wives, they will just coil into their shells somewhere. You may see a man who is so timid that he's so unsociable and will not like to meet anybody, will not like to go out a little. If your partner happens to be so unsociable, it brings conflict. There is this man who happens to be I think a director or a CEO of a place, and sometimes once a while they will go for dinners and lunch meetings with their partners and their spouses. Anytime this man asks the wife to accompany him to the dinner, the wife refuses, because the wife is shy of going to dinner or going to lunch, because she feels that they are going to meet the so-called big people. So eventually, the man had to get somebody, a certain woman, who probably goes out with him. And if it happens so, meaning you, the wife, you have given license to your husband to cheat on you. When it happens so, conflict sets in. If you're lucky and a man doesn't cheat, the man will not be happy with you, and there will be conflict at home. Then quick-temperedness also bring conflict. And then lazy partners. If your wife is lazy, conflict. If your husband is lazy, conflict. And then frigidity. When you meet your husband, when your husband meets you, and you are enjoying yourself in bed, at least let both see that we are enjoying it. We are enjoying each other. A woman will just lie down in bed like a piece of log. Your husband will not be happy. The man will just call Abner, come. As soon as the wife comes, then he starts. Your wife will not be happy. So let's see how to balance that thing. And then if you don't respect your partner, conflict also sets in. And then sanctions or demands, too much demand on sex. There's a man who will always, every day, will wish to sleep with a wife. There's a woman who will always wish to sleep with a husband. There are some women, if their husband do not pay something, your husband do not do something in exchange of sex, they will not allow him. All these sanctions and demands, which has been tagged on sexual or intimacy, also brings conflict. Lack of understanding also bring conflict. And then no time for each other. If the partners do not have time for each other, this also conflict may set in. So you see, all these things set or brings about conflict. If one party tends to concentrate on his job so much that he or she doesn't care about the partner, that also brings about conflict. So these are some of the things that will bring conflict in marriage. And I think the better we look at it, and stop it from escalating to the second stage, the better. We'll continue in the next episode to look at the other part of conflict. Thank you for sticking with me. I am your Counsellor JK. You are watching My Beat TV. Thank you. Bye-bye.